Alright, welcome to today's lesson. So we would be uh, moving on to the next thing. So I love only authenticated user. So I love so if I go to my tax routes, so I love authenticated user to be to only be able to what create tags, to update tags, to delete tags, and to get a particular tags. But unauthenticated user should be able to get all tags. So I'll apply that middleware on this, and I'll apply it on this too. Then I'll apply it on this too. So authenticated user will be able to create tags, update tags, delete tags, and get a particular tags. But unauthenticated user will be able to what? uh, get all tasks. So now, if I so let's make use of uh, Postman to test that. So I'm only authenticated on create tags. Now, if I want to delete tags, now remember that I'm only authenticated on create tags, so there's no token set here. So if I want to delete tags, now let me get all tags. So getting all tags does not require you to be authenticated. So you see that I'm able to get all the tags. Now I want to delete a tag. So let me get this one and go to delete tags. And so I'll go to delete tags. Then I'm not authenticated actually at the moment. So I want to swap this, then call this. So can you see it said access denied because it requires me to be what? To be authenticated. It requires me to be authenticated. So now I'll need to pass in that token. So I need to pass in the token as my bearer token here. So the token is already here already. So I need to send it. So if I send it, I see that we are able to successfully delete the tags. Now, meaning that your create tags, your delete tags, your update tags, and your get tags, like getting a particular tags, is restricted to you being authenticated. But if you are not authenticated, the only endpoint you have access to is to get all tags. So now, another thing you can do is so that's for restricting access to your endpoints. So now, so another thing we can do is to get the user tags. So since we are connecting tags to a particular user, now a particular user can create multiple tags, and um, a particular user can create multiple tags, and what is it called? And the ID is connected to the and that user ID is connected to the tags. So I can get a particular tags. So I can get what? I can get all the old tags for that particular user. So if a user is calling this get tags, if a user is calling this get tags, now note that this get tags does not is not what it does not require that you are authenticated. So let's have something like router. Let's have the authenticated one so that you can so that what let's have the authenticated one so that a user can be able to get his or her own tags. Like you will not be able to access other people's tags, but you will only be able to access your own tags. But an unauthenticated user can also come and make a call to this get tags and have access to everybody's tags, like just using around the tree. So now we have another tags. Let's give it an endpoint of tag slash me, something like tag slash me, or not even tag slash me. I could go to something like I could create an endpoint. Uh, so I could create an endpoint. So I could create a router, a route, and say something like user.router route.js. So we want to have something like user slash tags. So you do see that, or not necessarily user slash tags. Uh, if you reason around it, that slash tax should only still get you your own tax. That slash tax should only still get you your own tax. So we just need to ensure that this one too is also, it also requires that you're authenticated. That's what we need. You just need to ensure that you that one too also requires that you're authenticated, so that we can only get your own tax. But so it works. It works. So instead of this, since we know that all the ON points we make use of what auth middleware. So we don't need to set it here. We don't need to set the auth middleware on the task. We just need to come here and just set it here. Auth middleware. So can you see that? So if you apply it on all the whole routes. So are you seeing that? So now, since we want to get the task of a particular user, like if this user create a task like two tasks, when the user wants to get the task, you should get only his or her own two tasks. Now, if another user create a task like three tasks, when the user wants to get the his or her own task, you should get that three tasks. So now, since the task, since the user ID is connected to the task, now I can go to my get task. Now, since when you're authenticated, the user is set into this request, into the request. So I need to delete this. Remember that the user is set into the request from here. So the coded token is set into this request dot user. So I can do something like I can do something like so I have access to the I think if I'm to remember, so I have access to user ID. So user ID is request dot user dot what ID. You get that? Request dot user dot what ID. So I could say what find tags where what where user is what uh find tags where user, that is where user and the ID is what, and the ID is what user ID. So can you see that? Find tags for users, find tags where user and the ID is what is ID. So I hope you guys are understanding. So we are just trying to get the tags that are connected to a particular user. So now, so if I create, so I want to make that call now. So I want to get tags. So right now, when I did not uh, restrict that endpoint, where is it? So when I did not apply that middleware on that endpoint, when I now apply this middleware on that get tags endpoint, we have all the old tags from all the old users. So now, but if after setting the auth middleware, if I send this, so it said access denied. So we've not, so we have access to the bearer token now. So now what we have is only uh what we have is only this what's it called? This task created by this user. And who is this user? This user is Benita. So who is this user? This user is Benita. So let's create another task. So I got this task. So let me copy this. Let me create this task. Get task. I want to get Benita's token. So I want to get Benita's token. So create task. Pass it here. You see that? So inside the body, you see that? So I can say something like 36. So if I now we've created it. Now if I get tags, so can you see that we have only two tags which is created by Benita. So let's create another new user. So let's register a new user. On a normal, when we are registering user, we are not supposed to get what this token. We are supposed to get this token from our login. So I'm going to refactor it though. So let's create a new user. Let's call it John. So let's call it John. You can see that John has a different token. So I can copy that token. Then let's go to get tags. Let's go to get tags. Remove this token and paste it. So if I call it, so can you see that now each user now has their own tags. Now John has recently created now as an empty tags. So if I create a new one, if I try to create a new one, so let me copy this. Then I go to create. You go to authenticate authorization. Then you paste it there. Then let's say then let's restrict this to what to 10. So we've created this. So let's get if I run this hola. So now you see that you have only one what one what's it called uh data here. So let's go back and log in as Benita. So we're logging in as Benita. So let's copy Bera token. Then we want to get our tags. I copy this, I remove it, I paste Benita zone. Mm, is that Benita? Oh my, okay, I think Benita is created. Another thing you need to note is, I think Benita is created multiple times. Yeah, there's an error. So, one thing is what's it called? Your email must not, uh, do what? Your email should be unique. Your email should be unique. So, we need to enforce that. So now that your email is not unique, we are trying to log in back again with the same email. Now it doesn't know the one, it's using the most recent one. So this one now we cannot even access this one again because both of them has the same email. But now the database is confused as to which email to use. So we need to give that restriction. So we need to go to user model. Then I think we need to do what the type should be string. Then I think it's unique true. I think that's what it is. And what else again? Mm, I think we can also implement it on, not me thinking though, but we can implement it on this controller, auth controller. We can actually check on the fly if that user with that particular email already exists. But for now, let's just delete this. Let's delete this one. This one is the recently created one. So let me delete this lady here. So user schema now, unique is email is set as unique, is set to true. So so let me try to register again. Okay, so so it's working. It's not actually working. It's still creating that user. It's still creating that user. Mm, which is not supposed to be so. Which is not supposed to be so. So we need to do what? We need to come here and check if the user already exists. So how do I do that? I need to create a function outside, something like const check user email exists. I need to do what? Async. We just pass the email, which is a string. We could pass the email, which is a string. Then you could do what? Do your try cache. Pass this. we do what? Then we could say something like we check. I think it's find one by. Uh, I think I'm trying to remember. So I think it should be. So let's try to check. Mm, so let's try to check if await user. So I think we have user model. User does find one. Yeah, I think it should be find one. Find one by email. Yeah. So let's find one by email. So we could pass in that email. So this email is not used. So find one by email. Why is this not still showing that? Okay, it's showing now. So now if so we will return the user. So you are basically going to return the user. So here now I want to check. So after validating, I want to do what? I want to say const user exists. Wait, then check what user exists by email. Then I'll say what request or sorry value dot email. If user exists, so are you seeing that? So I want to, if the user actually exists, that is, if the user is an object, that is it's not null because if the user does not exist, it should be null. So if the user actually exists, I want to say what? I want to say res dot status 400 JSON message user with email already exists. So can you see that? So I need to what? Return. So are you seeing that? So let's try and register again. If I run this now, user with email already exists. But now, you remember I want to get the token again. So I don't need to do what? I don't need to register again. I need to what? I need to log in. So now we need to implement our login endpoint in the next class. So see you in the next class.